So on this journey, because I really do think that most people want to evolve. I think it's like our soul's calling to want to evolve, to want to grow, to want to actualize our highest self. And like you've alluded to, we need guides along the way. We need mentors. We need wayfinders, people that have walked the path before us that can say, I can teach you some stuff here, which is amazing. And I wouldn't be anywhere close to where I'm at without some incredibly influential mentors along the way. Some that I've just found through podcasts, some that I've known in person, and some great friendships like yourself. And with that comes the potential for some fuckery, because mentors can be commodified. They can act in the shadows a little bit. They can sell enlightenment. They can sell the path. They might not necessarily be virtuous, but they might talk a big game. And I love Austin. I love coming here. It's a very special place, but there's a little bit of that chicanery going on too, right? There's a lot of these healers or the spiritual community. And in certain places, there seems to be a congregation of them. What should people be watching out for to make sure that the people that they are listening to are in integrity and are leading them down a right path, that are not, using the shadow side of talking a good game just to exploit other people?
It can be very difficult to assess and diagnose when that's going on, especially when you're in a place of, needing help or feeling like you need help, you need guidance. And only through receiving that guidance, putting it into action, and then being very tuned into the dynamic of the relationship, can you really start to see the truth of who people are? And that requires that critical thinking element, that ability to kill your masters. Buddha said something like, if you see me walking down the street, you should kill me.
Yes. And I think one of his last dying wishes was, don't make statues of me. And now the world is full of statues of the Buddha, right?
I know. So I think I've had that myself, where I've had these idols that I've met. Don't meet your idol, dude.
Yeah.
Don't meet your idol.
Some truth in that.
Yeah, because inevitably they're going to show you that they're just a human being.
Yeah.
They're just another human being. And so, again, you have to walk your own path. You have to decide and discern what's right for you, what's truth for you, what's integrous and authentic for you in your own journey. Take what you will, take what you will and leave the rest. I mean, I've had a few idols who I was hopeful they would be mentors, and through interactions, through the development of our relationship, I came to see, holy shit, this dude is a parasite. And for me, what that always came down to, the red flag that seemed to be the common thread between any and all of these individuals, is anytime they're telling you this is the way, or you are not enough unless, or there's that insinuation that you're not good enough or you're not part of the cool kids club unless you do this, that's a big red flag. Because a true mentor or teacher is going to give you some information, maybe even give you some practices, some tools, just point blank. But they're never going to suggest that you are not worthy or not totally perfect as you are unless you come with me, unless you do this thing. And, it's happened throughout history,
Yeah.
The gurus.
The guru complex.
Inevitably either end up taking advantage of people or taking advantage of their position and what that brings to them.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen it with like all of the yoga gurus.
Yeah.
They've all been exiled or made documentaries out of them and about,
It's very funny, right? Because like, again, almost certainly their heart was pure. They wanted to help, but at a certain point, this absolute power corrupts absolutely. And it just like, it snuck in through a little blind spot. And all of a sudden you've got Bikram saying, I'll open your 8th chakra if you just give me a blowjob. That's how you become enlightened. Well, you need the seed.
And this is the thing, dude, because they're all just humans.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just gods. A man.
They play gods.
That's just a man who's susceptible like all of us. That's fallible. That's, taking advantage of an opportunity to get some pleasure, And so I think that we all have to be willing to kill our masters at some point, not physically, not literally, of course.
And to that point, maybe even kill the master that we believe is our own self. Maybe we got a little too high on our own supply sometimes. All right, friends, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Radical Health Radio. We got a fresh new podcast for you every Wednesday. If you enjoyed the show, consider liking, subscribing, reviewing, and rating us on your podcast platform. It helps to spread this message of radical health. We'll see you next week.